Bandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Satnanaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitam Sya Om Agyana Timaranda Shagyana Jana Shlakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Gurva Bishtam Sapurkam Gurganara Sesha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govinda Bidam Ujvalam Bharatanam Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Prem Noi Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandavaranam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyambunim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Mandetam Shivaram Madeka Sharanam Nyasishvara Sridharam Mansha Kalpatarubhyas Chakripα Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahapranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Nama. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami with translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is the Madhya-lila chapter 1. This is verse number 160. Age mana nahi chale na pare bandite pata banda na jai Nashinga hoila vishmite. Within the mind of Nashinga Brahmachari, the road could not be constructed beyond Kanai Natashala. He could not understand why the road's construction could not be completed, and thus he was astonished. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going from Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan. His plan was to visit Vrindavan, to go there. And knowing this, Nishingananda Brahmachari was constructing a road with flowers and gods, and the whole road was made of flower petals and everything. And Nishingananda Brahmachari is constructing the road for Mahaprabhu, and by meditation in his mind, but he couldn't build the road any further than Kanai Natashala, which is a little beyond Ramakeli in Bengal, where Mahaprabhu met with Rupa and Sanatan. So then Nischay Korea Kohe Shuna Bhaktagan Evarana Jaban Prabhu Shri Vrindavan. With great assurance, he then told the devotees that Lord Chaitanya would not go to Vrindavan at that time. Kanaira Natashala Hoite Asiba Firanya Janibe Paschat Kohila Nischay Korinya. Nishingananda Brahmachari said, the Lord will go to Kanai Natashala and then will return. All of you will come to know of this later, but now I can say this with great assurance. So this is what we're hearing in the first chapter of Madhya-lila is a resume of the later lila, of the Madhya-lila and the Antya-lila, which will be given. So he's describing in short summary, Krishnadas Kaviraj is describing in short summary all the events that will take place during the telling of the Madhya-lila and Antya-lila pastimes. So now he's saying that by the prediction of Nishingananda Brahmachari, who was meditating on Mahaprabhu going to Vrindavan, he saw that Mahaprabhu wouldn't go any further than Kanai Natashala. And actually, when Mahaprabhu went to Ramakeli and met with Rupa and Sanatan, he was being followed by many hundreds of thousands of people were going with him. And Sanatan Goswami told Mahaprabhu, this is not the way to go to Vrindavan with so many people. And it's also spiritual advice that one should not go to Vrindavan with the beating of drums and like a parade. So Sanatan Goswami is saying that, but it's also, during those times, all that area was controlled by the Muslims, and the Muslims were always fearful that some Hindu prophet would come and lead people against them. So it wasn't very good for Mahaprabhu to be followed by so many people, because also Sanatan Goswami was thinking this will attract too much attention of the government. They'll act against him. Okay. Gosai Kuliya Hoite Chahi Chalila Brindavan Sange Sahasreka Lok Jata Bhaktagan. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to proceed from Kuliya toward Vrindavan, thousands of men were with him, and all of them were devotees. So Kuliya is where the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat is in Navadip. And that's Mahaprabhu was going from Kuliya, from that place. That place is known as Aparad Bhanjanpat, because Mahaprabhu forgave many offenders, like Gopala Chapa and other persons who came. He forgave them in that place of Aparad Bhanjanpat. But now, so many people were traveling with Mahaprabhu, and he met. Actually, Mahaprabhu accomplished his purpose. He said he was going to Vrindavan, but really the main thing of this trip is that he took Rupa and Sanatan out of the Muslim government and sent them to Vrindavan. So, when Mahaprabhu began to proceed from Kuliya toward Vrindavan, thousands of men were with him, and all of them were devotees. Jahan Jai Prabhu Tahan Koti Sankyalok Dekite Aishe Deki Khande Duka Shok. Wherever the Lord visited, crowds of innumerable people came to see him. When they saw him, all their unhappiness and lamentation disappeared. Jahan Jahan Prabhu Charana Paraye Chalite Semritika Loyalok Garta Hoy Pate. Wherever the Lord touched the ground with his lotus feet, people immediately came and gathered the dirt. Indeed, they gathered so much that many holes were created in the road. Aiche Chali Aila Prabhu Ramakeli Gram Godaran Nikata Gram Ati Anupam. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eventually arrived at a village named Ramakeli. This village is situated on the border of Bengal and is very exquisite. Ramakeli Gram is situated on the banks of the Ganges on the border of Bengal. Srila Rupa and Sanatan Goswami had their residences in this village. Tahan Nritya Kore Prabhu Premiya Chaitan Koti Koti Lok Aishe Dekite Charan. While performing Sankirtan in Ramakeli Gram, the Lord danced and sometimes lost consciousness due to love of God. While at Ramakeli Gram, an unlimited number of people came to see his lotus feet. So Koti Koti means like that. Koti is millions of people. So what it means, Koti Koti, is unlimited number of people came to see Mahaprabhu when he's in Ramakeli. That's where the Muslim government was centered, in Ramakeli, and Rupa and Sanatan worked for the Muslim government, and they were known as Sakir Khas and Dabir Malik, and they even had Muslim names, but Mahaprabhu took them out of that service and made them and brought them to his mission and made them Shastra Gurus. But we can also see subsequently when they went when they visited they were stationed in Vrindavan, but when they visited Jagannath Puri, they never tried to go into the Jagannath temple because they considered they were outside by having taken service from the Muslim government. They were ministers in the government. They considered they should not enter into the Jagannath temple because they lost their caste. Kodeshvara Javana Raj Prabhava Shunya Kohite Lagila Kichu Vishmita Hoya. When the Muslim king of Bengal heard of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's influence in attracting innumerable people, he became very much astonished and began to speak as follows. Binadane etalok jara pache hoy seta goshaya iha janiya nishoy. Such a person who is followed by so many people without giving them charity must be a prophet. I can surely understand this fact. So the Muslim king was intelligent, and he could see that Mahaprabhu was followed by so many people, and he wasn't paying them anything. So then the Muslim king said, if so many people follow Mahaprabhu and he's not giving them anything materially, he's giving them spiritual, he's giving them spiritual life, but they're not getting anything material from Mahaprabhu, then the Muslim king can understand, because he's intelligent, and he may be a Muslim king, but the king has some divine backing from the Lord. So he said, the king said, if that many people follow Mahaprabhu, he must be a prophet. Kaji Javanaiha Nakorenya Himshana Apanai Chaya Buluna Jahan Uharamana. The Muslim king ordered the magistrate, do not disturb this Hindu prophet out of jealousy. Let him do his own will wherever he likes. So the Muslim king was like pious like that. He told his ministers that this person is a prophet, he's a saint, but don't disturb him. Okay. Keshava Katrire Raja Vartapuchila Prabhura Mahima Chatri Udayadila. When the Muslim king asked his assistant, Keshav Chatri, for news of the influence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Keshav Chatri, although knowing everything about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, tried to avoid the conversation by not giving any importance to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's activities. Bhikkhari sannyasi kori tirtha paryatan tare dekibare aishe dui charijan. Keshav Chatri informed the Muslim king that Mahaprabhu was a mendicant touring different places of pilgrimage, and that as such only a few people came to see him. So he tried to not show much importance, because he didn't want the Muslim king to be an enemy of Mahaprabhu, he said. So he said, oh, he's a mendicant, a few people come to see him. But the king's not believing that. Varane tomaratai koraye lagani tarahim shaya lava nahi hoy arahani. Keshav Chatri said, out of jealousy, your Muslim servant plots against him. I think that you should not be very interested in him, for there is no profit in it. Rather, there is simply loss. So other Muslims who were servants of the king were afraid of Mahaprabhu and were thinking of hindering him. But Keshav Chatri said, you shouldn't give so much importance to him. And he said, there are already people with you, other Muslims, who are trying to disturb Mahaprabhu, and this will not be good. Rajare Prabodhi Keshav Brahmana Patnaya Chalibara Tare Prabhure Pataila Hayanya. After pacifying the king in this way, Keshav Chatri sent a Brahmin messenger to Mahaprabhu requesting him to leave without delay, because this is the very center of the Muslim government, and this is not, Keshav Chatri is thinking this is not a safe place for Mahaprabhu. Dabir kashere raja puchila nibrite gosaira mahima teho lagila kohite. In private, the king inquired from Dabir Kas, Srila Rupa Goswami, who began to speak about the glories of the Lord. Jai Tomare Raja Dila, Jai Tomara Goshaya, Tomara Deshe, Tomara Bhagye Janmila Asinya. Srila Rupa Goswami said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who gave you this kingdom and whom you accept as a prophet, has taken birth in your country due to your good fortune. So whereas Keshav Chatri tried to hide or minimize the importance of Mahaprabhu because he didn't want the Muslims to disturb him, Keshav, Rupa Goswami said, he's the Supreme Lord, and he has taken birth in your country. As he is here in Bengal, the Supreme Lord has appeared here, and it is your good fortune. So instead of trying to minimize the importance of Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami glorified Mahaprabhu to the king. Tomara Mangala Banche Karyasidi Hoy Ihara Ashibade Tomara Sarvata Ejoy. This prophet always desires your good fortune. By his grace, all your business is successful. By his blessings, you will attain victory everywhere. Rupa Goswami says that. He's also saying to the Muslim king, he's the Supreme Lord, and he's not just here for the Hindus. He's here for everyone, and he's also giving you all good fortune. Everything that you've gained and everything that you have is also by the grace of the Lord. Morehena pucha tumi pucha apanaman tumi nira deepa how Vishnu amshasam. Why are you questioning me? Why are you questioning me? Better that you question your own mind. You examine your own heart. Because you are the king of the people. You are the representative of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, you can understand this better than I. Tomara chite chaitanyare kaije hoy gyan. Tomara chite je loy seta praman. Thus, Srila Rupa Goswami informed the king about his mind as a way of knowing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He assured the king that whatever occurred in his mind could be considered evidence. Raja kohe shuna mora mane jay loy sakat ishwara ihan nahika samshay. It's also a fact that in the Vedic the Vedic understanding is that the mind is within the heart. The king replied, I consider Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no doubt about it. Oh, Rupa Goswami said, examine your own mind, and in your mind you'll see who he is. And then the king saw that and in meditation considered his own mind, and he said, I consider he's the Supreme Lord. Rupa Goswami said, the king is a representative of the Lord, so you can know in this way. Itakohe Raja Gela Nijabhyantare Tavedabir Kasha Aila Apanaragare. After having this conversation with Rupa Goswami, the king entered his private house. Rupa Goswami, then known as Dabir Kash, also returned to his residence. A monarch is certainly a representative of the Supreme Personality of God. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. The Supreme Lord is the proprietor of all planetary systems. In each and every planet there must be some king, governmental head or executive. Such a person is supposed to be a representative of Lord Vishnu. On behalf of the Supreme Lord, he must see to the interest of all the people. Therefore, Lord Vishnu, as Paramatma, gives the king all intelligence to execute governmental affairs. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore asked the king what was in his mind concerning Mahaprabhu and indicated that whatever the king thought about him was correct. Garayashi Duibai Jukati Karanya Prabhu Deki Bare Chale Besha Lugaya. After returning to his residence, Dabir Kas and his brother decided after much consideration to go see the Lord incognito. Arda Ratre Duibai Aila Prabhustane Pratame Milila Nityananda Haridasa Sane. Thus in the dead of night the two brothers, Dabir Kas and Sakar Malik, went to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu incognito. First they met Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. So they were hiding their identity. They didn't dress in clothes of the minister or something. They went there very simply. Tara Dui Jana Janaila Prabhura Gochare Rupa Sakar Malik Aila Tomadeki Bare. Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur told Mahaprabhu that two personalities, Sri Rupa and Sanatan, had come to see him. Sakar Malik was the name of Sanatan Goswami and Dabir Kash was the name of Rupa Goswami. They were recognized by these names in the service of the Muslim king. Therefore, these are Muslim names. As officials, the brothers adopted all kinds of Muslim customs. They were working within the Muslim government, and they were ministers, and they also used these Muslim names of Sakar Malik and Sakar Malik and Dabir Kash. And they so when they went to see Mahaprabhu, they didn't go dressed like Muslim ministers. They went there dressed as simple persons. Dui Gucha Trina Duge Dashane Darinya Gale Bastra Bandit Pade Dandabad Hoya. In great humility, both brothers took bunches of straw between their teeth, and each binding a cloth around his neck fell down like rods before the Lord. So Mahaprabhu is saying, Trinada Pisunichena Tarori Vasahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. One should be more humble than the straw in the street. More tolerant than a tree and devoid of all sense of false prestige and able to offer respect to everyone. So as a sign of this humility, Trinadapi, like the straw in the street, as showing that humility, they took bunches of straw between their teeth and went to see Mahaprabhu and offered dandavats to him. Doinya Roda Nakori Anande Bival Prabhu Kohe Uta Hoila Mangal. Upon seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the two brothers were overwhelmed with joy, and out of humility they began to cry. Lord Chaitanya asked them to get up and assured them of all good fortune. Uti Dui Bai Tabe Dante Trina Dori Doinya Kori Stuti Kore Karajoda Kori. The two brothers got up, and again, taking straw between their teeth, they humbly offered their prayers with folded hands. Jaya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Doya Moy Patita Pavana Jai Jai Mahashai. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most merciful Savior of the fallen souls. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nitya Jati Nitya Sangi Kori Nitya Kaj Tomara Agrete Prabhu Kohite Basi Jatlaj. Sir, we belong to the lowest class of men, and our associates and employment are all of the lowest type. Therefore, we cannot introduce ourselves to you. We feel very much ashamed standing here before you. So they told to Mahaprabhu that we are completely fallen persons, and we cannot even properly introduce ourselves to you because we're so fallen that we don't want to commit any offense. Matuya nasti papatma naparadi chakasjana parihare pi lajame kimbruve purushottama. Dear Lord, let us inform you that no one is more sinful than us, nor is there any offender like us. Even if we wanted to mention our sinful activities, we would immediately become ashamed, and what to speak of giving them up. So they're telling Mahaprabhu, actually we feel we're very fallen, and we feel very ashamed to even present ourselves in front of you. Patita Pavana Heto Tomaravatar Amabai Jagate Patita Nahiyar. The two brothers submitted, Dear Lord, you have incarnated to deliver the fallen souls. You should consider that in this world there is none so fallen as us. So they're saying, we're fallen souls, but you have appeared in this world to save the fallen souls. So we're begging you to please save us. That's what. Jagai Madai Dui Korile Udar Tahan Udarite Shrama Nahila Tomar. You have delivered the two brothers Jagai and Madai, but to deliver them you did not have to exert yourself very much. And they're saying, actually, you've already delivered the two drunken brothers, Jagai and Madai. But to do so, you didn't have to exert yourself very much. It was easy for you to do. And why? Brahmana Jati Tara Navadip Begara Nija Seva Nahi Kore Nahi Nichera Korpara. The brothers in Jagai and Madai belonged to the Brahmin caste, and their residence was in the holy place of Navadip. They never served low-class persons, nor were they instruments to abominable activities. So yes, Jagai and Madai were born Brahmins, and they became very fallen, but they never were servants of people like the Muslims, and they never did these kind of activities. So you could save them because they already had some kind of, even though they were drunkards and broke all the laws and the Manu Samhita and everything, still you could save them. But we have been worse. We have lost everything. We've taken employment from the Muslims. We served the Muslim government. We've lost our position in the society, everything. So we're asking you, we're the most fallen, then you have come to save the most fallen, then you should save us. Sabe ek dosha tara hoy papachar papa rashi dahe nama basai tomar. Jagai and Madai had but one fault. They were addicted to sinful activity. However, volumes of sinful activity cannot However, volumes of sinful activity can be burned to ashes simply by a dim reflection of the chanting of your holy name. Jagai and Madai had but one fault: they were addicted to sinful activity. However, volumes of sinful activity can be burned to ashes simply by a dim reflection of the chanting of your holy name. So when one is committing namaparad, one will make no advancement. But it is said that namabash, sometimes it's said namabash is inattentive chanting, or to saying, using the name of the Lord to indicate something else. It's like inattentive, not proper chanting. So namaparad means offensive chanting. And with namaparad, you won't gain by namaparad. Although even the Lord cannot overcome namaparad. But namabash is like chanting wrongly. So they're saying but the Lord can be known, the Supreme Lord Mahaprabhu can be known even by namabash, by not even knowing what one is doing. However, volumes of sinful activity can be burned ashes simply by namabash, by a dim reflection of the chanting of your holy name. Tomar nama loha, tomar korila nindan, se nama hoila tara, muktira karan. Jagai and Madai uttered your holy name by way of blaspheming you. Fortunately, that body, that holy name, became the cause of their deliverance. Jagai and Madai uttered your holy name by way of blaspheming you. Fortunately, that holy name became the cause of their deliverance. So sometimes the Hindus, sometimes the Muslims would make fun of the Hindus and say, like, oh, you're always chanting Hare Krishna, and then they'd say, in Bengali, Hari means I'm stealing. So what are you stealing? You're always chanting Hare Krishna, you're always saying Hari, Hari. What are you stealing? Hari, Hari means I'm stealing. What are you stealing? So they'd make fun of the Hindus chanting, but at the same time, this is namabash. They weren't trying to be offensive. They were just making some joke about the holy name. But even that joke became cause for deliverance, so because they're saying, oh, you're always chanting Hare Krishna, what is that? But when they're saying that, they're chanting Hare Krishna, maybe not in pure love of God, but namabash, and it says, Jagai and Madai uttered your holy name by way of blaspheming you. Fortunately, that holy name became the cause of their deliverance. Jagai Madai hoite koti koti gun, Arama patita papi ame duijan. We too are millions and millions of times inferior to Jagai and Madai. We are more degraded, fallen, and sinful than they. Malecha jati, malecha sevi, kuri malecha karma, go brahmana drohi sange, amara sangama. Actually, we belong to the caste of, in Bengal, the word malecha meant Muslims, referred to Muslims. You can say it means meat eater, but the Muslims were meat eaters, but the Bengalis referred to the Muslims as malechas. Actually, we belong to the caste of malechas because we are servants of the malechas. Indeed, our activities are exactly like them. Because we are always associated with such people, we are inimical toward the cows and Brahmins. We are servants of the malechas, of the Muslims, and we are like them. We have adopted their habits, and therefore we are very fallen. And we have become the enemies of the cows and the Brahmins. You know, what is the verse? Krishna is known. Krishna is known as Govinda. He's the Lord of the cows, and he's the Lord of also Go Brahmana Hitayacha. He is also the Lord of the Brahmins. And they saying we were becoming like Muslims. We were like against the cows and the Brahmins, and that's how we're more fallen than Jagaya and Madai. Morakama Morahate Galaya Mandiya Kuvishaya Vishna Garte Diache Velaya. The two brothers, Sakar Malik and Dabir Kas, very humbly submitted that due to their abominable activities, they were now bound by the neck and hands and had been thrown into a ditch filled with abominable stool-like objects of material sense enjoyment. This example of falling into a ditch full of stool and worms, like by doing Mahaprabhu, when Raghunath Das Goswami approached him, Mahaprabhu said, actually he said, I was a friend of Nilambar. My grandfather, Nilambar Chakravarti, was a friend of your father and uncle of Raghunath Das Goswami. His father is Hiranya, and Hiranya Majhumadar is his uncle, and Govardhan Majhumadar is the father of Raghunath Goswami. So he said, actually, they were friends of my grandfather. But I can say this joke about them. This is a joke, don't take it as offense, but he said, your grandfather and your uncle, they tried to help the Vaishnavas. They were serving the Vaishnavas, and they themselves were like Vaishnava Prai or Vaishnava, what is the word, when you say Namapara, then the word is Namabhas. So they're like Vaishnava Bhas. They're like almost Vaishnavas. So, but Mahaprabhu said, but I will say this about them, because they are addicted to sinful enjoyment and sinful activities. The sinful activities and the activities of this world are like a hole where people pass stool. And in that stool, there are worms. And your uncle and your father were like two worms swimming and eating that stool, because they thought the mundane material activities of this world was their enjoyment. So they're like worms in stool. So Mahaprabhu said, don't mind this, but I'm saying this, that Krishna has saved you from that kind of life. He's taken you away from that kind of life, and he saved you. And here, using that same example, the two brothers, Sakar Malik and Dabir Kash, Sanatan and Rupa Goswami, very humbly submitted that due to their abominable activities, they were now bound or tied up by the neck and hands, and had been thrown into a ditch filled with abominable stool-like objects of material sense enjoyment. They were saying, what are we working for? What are we getting out of all this? They're getting money and some prestige and material enjoyment. So we're like persons who have been tied up and thrown into that stool pit of material enjoyment. That's what they're saying. So you please save us. Amudarite boli nahi tribhuvane patita pavana tumi save tomabine. No one within the three worlds is sufficiently powerful to deliver us. You are the only savior of the fallen souls. Therefore, there is no one but you. We cannot, nobody can save us. Nobody, we cannot go to anyone to save us from this. Only you can do that. You are the Supreme Lord. You are the Savior of the fallen souls. Amo udari ajari deka nijabal patita pavana nama tabi se saval. You simply deliver us by your transcendental strength, then certainly your name will be known as Patita Pavana, the Savior of all the fallen souls. Only you can save us, no one else. You're the Savior of all the fallen souls, and we are very fallen. Although they're very respected and big ministers in the Muslim government, they said, we are completely fallen. Only you can save us. Satya Ek. But the Muslim king depended on them and everything. But they're saying, we don't want this. We want you to please save us from this. Satya Ek Bata Kahun Shuna Doyamoy Mo Vinu Dayara Patra Jagate Nahoy. Let us speak one word that is very true. Please hear us, O merciful one. There is no other object of mercy within the three worlds but us. They're saying, everyone of all the people in the three worlds, you please save us. Moridaya Kore Kora Swadaya Safal Akila Brahmanda Dekuka Tomaradoya Bal. We are the most fallen, therefore, by showing us your mercy. Your mercy is most successful. Let the power of your mercy be exhibited through the entire universe. So we are fitting objects of your mercy, and if you give your mercy to us, you will be glorified everywhere as saving the most fallen, because we are the most fallen. That's what they're saying. Namrisha paramartam eva me shrinu vigyapanam eka agrata jari me no na dashishyase tara dayaniya stava nata durlabaha. Let us submit one piece of information before you, my Lord. It is not at all false, but is full of meaning. It is this: if you are not merciful upon us, then it will be very, very difficult to find more suitable candidates for your mercy. This is from the Stotra Ratna, Sri Yamunacharya. So this is their feeling. We are very, very fallen, and you have to save us. And if you do so, the people will say that you have saved the most fallen. That's a natural feeling of someone like Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. They say, we're the most fallen. Haridas Thakur said that. Haridas Thakur said that also. No one is more fallen than me, he said. He said, if you even say my name, you'll lose all your punya and all your sukriti. You'll lose everything just by saying my name, Haridas Thakur said. Apane ayogya deki mane pan koba tatapi tomara gune upajaya loba. We are very depressed at being unfit candidates for your mercy. Yet since we have heard of your transcendental qualities, we are very much attracted to you. So we feel ourselves to be very fallen, but and we're very depressed about being so fallen. But we are heard so much about how you are the Savior of the most fallen, so we are coming to you. Bhamana Jaiche Chanda Darite Chahikore Taiche E Banchamora Utaye Antere. Indeed, we are like a dwarf who wants to capture the moon. Although we are completely unfit, a desire to receive your mercy is awakening within our minds. So nobody can catch the moon. Nobody can reach out and catch the moon. But they're saying that even a normal person can't catch the moon, but even more difficult for a dwarf, somebody who's a chaparrito, a very small person. How will they catch the moon? So we're like a dwarf that's trying to catch the moon. Bhavantam evanu chara nirantara prashantani shesha manoratantara kadaham aitkantika nitya kinkara prabhara shami sanata jivitam. By serving you constantly, one is freed from all material desires and is completely pacified. When shall I engage as your permanent eternal servant and always feel joyful to have such a fitting master? So these are the natural feelings of a devotee. I have approached my spiritual masters, but I feel that I am very ashamed to come before them. They are so great, but I am a very dirty thing. So how can I approach them? But they are my hope. Shuni Mahaprabhu kohe shuna dabirkas tumi duibai mora puratanadas. After hearing the prayer of Dabir Kas and Sakar Malik, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My dear Dabir Kas, you two brothers are my old servants. Aji hoite duharanama rupa sanatan donya chada tomar donye fate moraman." My dear Sakar Malik, from this day your names will be changed to Srila Rupa and Srila Sanatan. Now please abandon your humility, for my heart is breaking to see you so humble. He's saying, you're my eternal servants. You're Sanatan and Rupa Goswami. But my heart is breaking to hear your humility. I can't tolerate this. Donya patre liki more patale. Can't tolerate means that it is paining me to hear you talk so bad about yourself. Donya patre liki more patale bar se patre duara jani tomara vyavahar. You have written several letters showing your humility. I can understand your behavior from those letters. Tomara Ridaya Ami Jani Patri Dware Toma Shikaite Shloka Pataila Tomari. By your letters I could understand your heart. Therefore, in order to teach you, I sent you one verse which reads as follows. Now this verse expresses the mood of devotion very well. You know, it's a very strong verse. It says, Pura vyasana nari vyagrapi griha karmasu tad evas vadayant yantar navasanga rasayanam. If a woman is attached to a man other than her husband, she will appear very busy in carrying out her household affairs. But within her heart, she is always relishing feelings of association with her paramour. So a woman, she's married. Maybe often people get married, but they're married out of social custom or arranged marriages, or maybe they marry somebody, but later they find out what that person is really like, and they're not so attached. But then maybe they meet somebody else, and they fall in love with that person, but they're already married. So a woman in that position, she doesn't want to reveal to her husband that she's always thinking of her lover, someone else beside her husband. So she carries out her household duties very nicely. She's not negligent because she doesn't want her husband to suspect that she's in love with someone else. So she takes care of her family and carries out her activities very well. But she's always thinking about her lover. Gora nikata ashite nahi mora prayojan toma duha dekite mora ihan agaman. I really had no business in coming to Bengal, but I have come just to see you two brothers. So Mahaprabhu said, externally he said, he is going to Vrindavan, but he's the Supreme Lord. He knows what's going to happen. He knows that he's being followed by too many people, and he had no business. He said, I had no business coming to Bengal. I could have gone to Vrindavan by another way, but I only came to Bengal for one reason. What's that reason? Amora manera kata keho nahi jane sabi bole keni aila Ramakeli grame. Everyone is asking why I've come to this village of Ramakeli. No one knows my intentions. Ramakeli is the center of the whole Muslim government. Why would Mahaprabhu go there? He said, I had no reason to go to Bengal, and I certainly had even less reason to come to Ramakeli, where all the Muslim government is. But I've come just to save you two. That's the whole reason for my trip. But not everybody's going to know that. Everyone's thinking, oh, he's going to Vrindavan. But his whole purpose was to extract Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. And for that reason he said he's going. Balo hoila duibai aila morastane garejaha baya kichu na koriyamone. It is very good that you two brothers have come to see me. Now you can go home. Do not fear anything. Okay, now everything's taken care of. I've come here. I've come for you. Now everything is done. This is a real reason why I've come to Bengal. Otherwise, why am I here? Janmi janmi tumi dui kinkaramar. Janmi janmi tumi dui kinkaramar. Achirate Krishna tomai koribe udar. Birth after birth, you have been my eternal servants. I'm sure that Krishna will deliver you very soon. So, I'm very sentimental. I get affected by this. But this is really Mahaprabhu's whole reason for trying to go to Vrindavan. It's only to come to Bengal to see Rupa and Sanatan. Itabole duharaj shire darila dui hate ihan bai Prabhupada nila nijab mate. The Lord then placed his two hands on the heads of both of them, and in return they immediately placed the lotus feet of the Lord on their heads. So someone could say, well, normally a person will think, well, how will you go to Vrindavan without going through Bengal? Bengal's on the way to Vrindavan. No, you go to, Mahaprabhu will go through Vrindavan through the jungle. And so nobody would normally go through the jungle. Everyone would go through Bengal. But Mahaprabhu says, I had no reason to come to Bengal. I would go through the jungle. Well, what about the tigers and the snakes and everything? I'll make them all devote. They'll all chant Hare Krishna. No problem with them. Doha Lingya Prabhu Balila Bhaktagane Sabe Kripa Kore Udaraha Duijane. The children are always doing these plays also with Mahaprabhu going through Jarikhanda and dancing and converting elephants and tigers and deer and everyone to be his devotees in the jungle. He had no problem going through the jungle. Okay. So Mahaprabhu could go through the jungle and Jarikhanda, and the children always do this play of Mahaprabhu going through the jungle. That's how Mahaprabhu would go to Vrindavan and not go through Bengal surrounded by thousands and thousands of people. But he saved Rupa Goswami. Dohalingya Prabhu Bolila Bhaktagane Sabe Kripa Kore Udaraha Duijani. After this, the Lord embraced both of them and requested all of the devotees present to be merciful upon them and deliver them. You all give them your blessings also. Duijane Prabhu Kripa Deki Bhaktagane Hari Boli Bole Sabe Anandita Mane. He's also telling them they're going to be his two brothers, sir. You give them all your blessings, but you also will see that they will become your leaders. When all the devotees saw the mercy of the Lord upon the two brothers, they were very much glad, and they began to chant the holy name of the Lord. Hari, Hari. Nityananda Haridas Srivas Gadadhar Mukunda Jagannananda Murari Krishah. All the Vaishnava associates of the Lord were present, including Nityananda Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, Srivas Thakur, Gadadhar Pandit, Mukunda, Jagannananda Pandit, Murari, and Vakeshwar. Sabar charane dori pare dui bai, sabe bole danya tumi, paile gosai. And Mahaprabhu would go through Jharkhand, and the jungle of Jharkhand. Now, before there used to be one state, it used to be Bihar, but later it became two states, Bihar and Jharkhand. Obviously, Jharkhand is related with, same name as Jharkhand, but Niriya Maharaj is from Jharkhand. No, I'm not saying he's a jungle person, but he's from Jharkhand. Sabar Chanane, who was jungle person, was Rasabdi. He was from the jungle. Literally, he was from, what do they call the jungle? The jungle is in Bengal. What's the name of the jungle? Everyone knows this, and I know, but I don't remember. I forget. Anyway, later I'll remember when the class is over. But Sabar Chanane Dore Paridui Bai Bole Sabe Bole Dainya Tumi Paile Gosai. All the tigers are from the jungle area. What's that? In accordance with the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the two brothers, Rupa and Sanatan, immediately touched the lotus feet of these Vaishnavas, who all became very happy and congratulated the two brothers for having received the mercy of the Lord. Sabapasha Agyamage Cholana Samai Prabhupade Kohekechu Korea Minoi. After begging the permission of all the Vaishnavas present, the two brothers at the time of their departure humbly submitted something at the lotus feet of the Lord. Let's see. So later they're going to tell the Lord that you shouldn't go with so many people to Vrindavan. And the Lord, for that reason, the Lord doesn't go any further than Kanai Natashala. And the Shringa Brahmacharis already told everyone, you'll see, he won't go any further than Kanai Natashala. But it's because what Sanatan Goswami tells to Mahaprabhu, that you should not go with so many people. And then when he gets a little further, Mahaprabhu gets to Kanai Natashala. Now, obviously, he's not going to turn back from Ramakeli, because then it will attract to even more attention that he just went to the Muslim government, and people will see that. So he went a little further, he went to Kanai Natashala. And then he reflects on what Sanatan Goswami will say, and then Mahaprabhu says, I'm going there with the beating of drums and too many people, and he'll go back. But we'll hear about that tomorrow. So here I'm going to stop and sing Hari Haraya, and we'll take krshah. As I said, today also is Bahulashmi. Govinda Maharaj accepted. This is the day before Srila Sridhar Maharaj's appearance day. And Bahulashmi is when Mahaprabhu discovered or showed where is the Radha Kund. And on this day, Govinda Maharaj took sannyas.
And so did
I don't know.
Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj sannyas day.
Maybe.
What, 52 years, Maharaj?
1972.
Oh, 53. Wow, how fortunate are we?
Well, I was fortunate to know Srila Prabhupada, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and Srila Govinda Maharaj. I took sannyas from Srila Prabhupada in the Radha Damodar temple by the Samadhi and Bhajan Kutir of Srila Rupa Goswami. So, even a dog can become very fortunate by serving a Vaishnava. So, today Govinda Maharaj's divine sannyas day and the day before Srila Guru Maharaj's appearance day, which we'll celebrate tomorrow. Hopefully some of the devotees who aren't here will come tomorrow. We'll see. It's going to be an evening program. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Charavaya Nama Charavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Garadhara Shiva Sari Gora Bhaktivedanta Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakti-Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopala Bhattadasa Raghunath Chai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jai Te Vignana Shabisa Puran Chai Gosai Char Mui Charadan Dasavar Padareno Mora Panchagra Padher Charana Sevi Bhakta Saniva Chaname More Abhilam Chai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilaban Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manchayi Aman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriya. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamana. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitya Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giridhari Joki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Tilak Neri Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajaka Charyashta Tara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajaka Charyashta Tara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Premsigo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Harshivasadi Sri Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. Vishvabaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupad ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Kusha Mashra Maharaj ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Sri Navadip Dham ki Jai. Sri Mayapur ki Jai. Saparshada Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Saparshada Sriman Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Sri Koladvip ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki Jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Sri Bahulashtami ki Jai. Sri Radhakunda Discovery ki Jai. Sri Govinda Maharaj Sanyaste ki Jai. Sri Kartik Vrata ki Jai. Sri Damodar Vrata ki Jai. Sri Niyama Seva ki Jai. Sri Urja Vrata ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.